Hakadosh Boker or Daf Yomi Masechet Batra Daf Yomi 58A1. We are starting a few lines down. It's basically going to be 4 lines down where it says Rabbi Bena'ah. So Rabbi Bena'ah have a mitzayin me'arta. What does that mean? He used to make simanim with line on the gvulot, on the borders of the caves in order to have their different types of like a cemetery. So they had the tombstones and everything there. Kimata lemarta d'Avram, when it came to the me'ara of Avram Avinu, Ashkechel Eliezer Eved Avram. So he found the servant Eliezer Eved Avram. Kame Bava, he was at the entrance of the me'ara of the cave. Amaleh, so he says, "My kabid Avram, what's Avram Avinu doing now?" So Amaleh, so he tells him, "Gane bekanfe de Sarah v'kamayin lebereshe." He says he's right now lying down right between the arms of Saraimen when she's looking in his head. Yeah. So okay, this is a concept of the unity, as it says here in the footnotes, between them, that they were much so connected. Avram and Sarah. So Amaleh, so he said, Zil Elmaleh Bena'ah Kaya Bava. Go tell Avram Avinu that Bena'ah is at the entrance. Amaleh, so Avram Avinu tells Eliezer, Leor, he should come in. Meida Yadia Dietze Bayal Maleka. It's known that there's no Yitzhara in this world, which means in the Olam HaEmet, there's no Yitzhara. So there's no reason why all of a sudden now he has to hide himself, that Avram Avinu is in the arms of Sarai Menu. Ail va'ayin, right? Ail ayin v'nafek. So Rabbi Binah comes into the Me'ara. He's looking, and he goes out and he makes a siman on the outside. So kimata le'amarta d'Adam Rishon. So when he comes to the Me'ara of Adam Rishon, now again, obviously, since he was doing all these things, he wanted to see how much there was going to be an ohel, not going to be an ohel. We're talking about tum'ah v'tara, so therefore he wanted to know the exact measurements of the caves. Okay, so when he gets to the cave of Adam Rishon, right, and what happens? You already looked at Zmud Yukni, which is the Zmud of Yaakov Avinu, which that's me'en Adam Rishon. But Yukni atzma al titzakeh, but you cannot look at Adam Rishon, because Adam Rishon is mamash the right, the Tzelem Elokim of Kadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore you can't look at you looked already at Yaakov Avinu, but don't look at Adam Rishon. Okay, so says Rabbi Banah. Habayina letzuyunu marta. So yeah, but I have to be mitzayen the midot of the me'ara, right, on the top, in order the people should know, right, that they shouldn't get around there. So he says, Kimidata chitzona, kach midata pnimit. He comes and he says, right, where the avot hakadoshim is, so to the inner one where Adam Rishon is the same thing, which means you don't have to go and measure it, because you already know. Man Damar, but according to Man Damar, that it's going to be 2 different houses, one on top of each other. The top one, top level, second level. It's the same story. It's the same measurements. So Amar Rabbi Bena'ah, nisakalti b'shnei kaivav vedomim l'shnei galgalei chama. Do you know that I saw from the Me'ara of Adam Rishon, I saw the 2 different like his akevim, the ankles. And they were compared to like mamash. It was like the sun, 2 different suns. Hakol bifnei Sarah, kekol bifnei Adam. Do you know that the facial expression, how beautiful was Sarah, how she was shining and illuminating? Everyone in front of Sarah was like a kof, was like a monkey. Sarah bifnei Chava, kekol bifnei Adam. The same thing. Sarah was to Chava, because Chava was even greater. Chava bifnei Adam, and it's Chava to Adam Rishon. Right? There's also kekol bifnei Adam. Adam Rishon bifnei Shechina is also like, meaning when we're comparing, it's like comparing like from the monkey to the human being. So therefore, the Shechina is the highest level, and then it's Adam Rishon. But Adam Rishon to the Shechina is like a kof, and the same thing downwards from Chava to Adam, and the same thing downwards from Sarah to Chava. Okay, Shufre de Rav Kahana, the beauty of Rav Kahana. Man, Shufre de Rabbi Yavu was like the beauty of Rabbi Yavu. Shufre de Rabbi Yavu was like the Shufre of Yaakov Vinu, and the Shufre of Yaakov Vinu was like the beauty of Adam Harishon. Hahu Amgusha. There was a Mechashef. Mechashef is a sorcerer. Tavachatit Shachve. That he used to dig, right, and take out the metim. He used to take off their clothing. Yeah? Okay, there's a whole thing here. Why did he have to do these things? So Kimata Ma'arta de Rav Tuvi bar Matra, when he got to the Me'ara of Rav Tuvi bar Matra, so he tried to take off Tafse b'dikneh, right? Tafsor of Tuvi bizkano, and he didn't let go of him. He grabbed him by the beard. Didn't let go of him. So Abaye came, right? Elmaleh, and he says, right? He told Rav Tuvi, let him go. Yeah, so he let him go. Shana Achrita, the next year, Hadarata, again he came. Tafse b'diknei grabbed him. Atabaye, and he came Abaye and he asked him again, but lo shavke, but he didn't let him go. Adaita mispera v'gazade. Until Abaye had to come and he had to take scissors and cut off the beard of the Mechashef in order, meaning he grabbed onto him so strongly, he wasn't letting go of the beard, right? That mamash, he basically had to cut off the beard in order to take it back. But if not, to let go, but if not, right, he didn't let him go. Hahu de Amar lehu. There was a story of a person that when he was a Shriv Merah, he went and he said, Chavita de Afra lechad brai. He wanted one chavit, right, to one of his children. Chavita de Gam lechad brai. A chavita batzamot to one child. Chavita de Udra lechad brai. Chavita mochin, which is like, usually it's of like cotton wool, right, like a woolen things. To one, he didn't know what he want. They went in front of Rabbi Bana. Malu, he said, "Eat lichu ara." He says, "Do you guys have karka?" Amnulain, yes. Eat lichu chevata. He says, "Do you have bale chayim, animals?" He said, "Yes." Eat lichu bistarka. He says, "What? Do you have matzaot? Do you have like carpets and things like that?" He said, "Yes." Ihachi kikamar lichu. That's what he told them. Meaning that was his kavanah. When he went and he said chavita far, he meant the karka. When he said chavit atzamot, he meant animals. And when he said chavit muchin, when he went his clothing, was like the carpets. Okay, there was a guy that he went and he heard that his wife went and told her daughter, why are you not so careful in your isur? Meaning, you're already coming and you're doing isurim and you're sleeping around and doing the averot. Why aren't you more careful? This woman, she's talking about herself, she has 10 children. Only one of them comes from the husband. Meaning, the husband hears the wife telling his daughter that, listen, why are you doing things in the open? What's going on? She has 10 children. Only one comes from the husband. So he didn't know what to do. Yeah. So Kishachi, right? When he came to die, Amar lehu, they said, Kol nichsei lechad bra. All the property go to one child. But they didn't know which child. So Ata lekamed Rabbi Bina, they went in front of Rabbi Bina. Amar lehu, he went and he told them, Zilu chavot kivrad avuchon. Go start hitting the kevet of your fathers. Until he's going to tell you guys which one he left it. As right? Everyone went. There was one boy that didn't go. Amar lehu, he went and he told everybody. Huluding said, hi, he's the true son. Everything goes to him. Why? He was the only one that wasn't mitsugal to come to hit his father. So he went and he said, this is the true son. And obviously the father did b'chuchma in order to find out exactly who's the real son. So there were 9 brothers, right, that they went, and they were Yilshinu, Rabbi Bina. The 9 brothers went to the government. Amri, they said, they said, listen, this guy is taking out without witnesses, without nothing. So they went and they put him in jail. Azla Devitu, right? The wife of the Rabbi Bana went in front of the Shoftim. Amra lehu, and she told him, Avda Chadavali, I have an Eved, Paskul Reshe. They went and they cut off his head. Upashtu lemashke. They took off his skin. The achru bisre, and they ate his flesh. The kamalu b'maya. And what happened was they're coming. They're drawing water and they're drinking. And they're not paying. They're not even paying schirut. They didn't understand. Amri, they said, we're going to bring the chacham of the Yudai. So karu the berbana. Amarlo, he said, Zarnuka amra lechu. Right? She went and she was speaking about a nod, a flask which is made out of skins, which means, right, that we had a taish, we had like a goat. They went and they stole it, they slaughtered it, they ate the flesh, and from the skins they made a flask and they were bringing water. Amri, they said, since you're so smart, you're going to be the dayan and you're going to judge everything. So you saw that on the Dilantot Ashar it was written, anybody that's called, right, against him is not called the dayan. That means he can't be called the dayan. So it means that he cannot be there, right? So therefore, Amar lehu, so Rabbi Bina, he didn't agree with this. Ela me'ata, he went and he said, 1 second. Atayini shme'alma. He comes and he says, what does that mean? Basically, right? He was looking around, and this is what he saw on the things. This is obviously they went and they did this, right? Purposely, obviously. So what happened is that he went and he said this. Whenever somebody comes from the street, right? Nunchet Amubet 58b, umazvin leledina. There's going to be tovea the dayan to din. Pasle, what the dayan is going to become disqualified? Ela kol dayan lemitkere ledin umapkin mine mamona bedin lashem. If they call him to judgment and they take money out from him, he's not a good judge. Why? Because that means he was wrong. So katvu achi peram saved yudam. However, those ziknei yudim amru kodem mikra ledin umapkin mamona lashem. Chaza dichtiv. He went and he saw. It was written berosh kol mota anadam. Right? Berosh hagormim lamavet. I'm there. Right? Which is the blood. Right? That means basically a person doesn't come and he doesn't take out blood. Right? Berosh kol chayin ana chamar. And at the beginning of the chayim is going to be wine, right? Because the wine comes and makes a person alive. So ela me'ata. So he argued on this. He said, ela me'ata denafil migra meat. If somebody falls off the roof and he dies, denafil migra meat, or he falls off the palm tree and he dies, dama katle, right? It was because he had too much blood. The two and more than that. Man de darke lememat mashkule chamer v'chaye. Says what? Somebody that's going to die like Goses. You're just going to come and give him wine and then he's going to live? Obviously not. He's already in his deathbed. That's it. This is what you have to write. At the beginning of all the machalot is the blood, meaning too much blood is the beginning of all the machalot. And the beginning of the trufot, of the remedies, is the wine. So so that the Chachmim Yudim, they wrote, only in a place where there's no wine, that's where you're supposed to look for different types of remedies. Ketiva pitcha da kuputkaya. It was written on the entrance of kuputkaya. Ampak, anbag, antal. These are names of midot. Okay. Ve'ezu antal. It's a revi'it of the Torah. Okay. Fine. Mishnah. Mishnah nunchet amubet 58b. Hamarzev. We're talking about like the gutter, which is going down b'sfat agag. It's going down the side of the roof. En lo chazaka. What does it mean en lo chazaka? Even though it's going to be there for 3 years, there's no chazaka, and therefore the Bala Chatzer can come and move it somewhere else. Yesh komo chazaka, but its place has a chazaka. What does it mean? The Gemara is going to explain. Okay, he says Masechta, which is kavua, which is fixed on the gutter. Yesh la chazaka, does have a chazaka, right? Because it's fixed. Sulama mitzri. We're talking about now a small ladder, which is not kavua and no chazaka. But if it's big and it's kavua, it's got, meaning like stairs, it's going to be a chazaka. Chalona mitzrit. We're talking about a small window, and lo chazaka doesn't have a chazaka. But if it's going to be a big window, it has a chazaka. What is chalona mitzrit? It's so small you can't even put your head through it. If it's got like a mashkof, if it's got the, how do you call this? Like the frame, it is going to be considered a chazaka. Says the Gemara, "My marzev en lo chazaka v'yeshlim komo chazaka." What does it mean that a gutter does not have a chazaka, but its place has a chazaka? So it says, I'm going to review the Mashmuel. It says, review the name of Shmuel. He comes and he says, what are we dealing with? He comes and he says, Hachi kama. This is what it means to say, Hamarzev en lo chazaka meruach achat. V'yeshlim komo chazaka mishte ruchot. It does not have a chazaka from one place, but it has chazakot, meaning the balagag. Right, that's what it means here. Balagag, he didn't fix it, right? But it has, but the mikomo yeshlo chazaka. What does that mean? According to where the balachatzer wants to put it, so he could change it to another direction. But the place that has a chazaka, meaning that he cannot just take it away completely, but he could move it around. If it's very long, he can make it katzar. But if he wants to take it out completely, he cannot make it. Meaning he could shorten it, but he can't take it out completely. If you want to build something else instead of it, you could. If you want to take it away completely, you cannot take it away. Wonderful day.